Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. So today we will study the 80 elements. 80 elements. So the elements are called dhātu, the Pali, because they bear their own intrinsic natures. So they have their own nature, they have their own characteristics. For that reason, it is called dhātu. So 80 elements, I will explain why the meaning of dhātu later. So 80 elements are obtained from the 12 bases. So we have 12 bases. So dividing the mind base, manayatana, into the 7 elements of consciousness. So actually, the mind base, manayatana alone, can be divided into 7. So 7 elements of consciousness. So in this way, it became 80 altogether. So if you know 12 bases, you know 80 elements. So the mind base itself can be divided into 7. So it became 80 elements. So the rest are the same, identical. Here, the word dhātu, I think that is very important. It's important to understand. Dhamma and dhātu are the same. Actually, they have the same characteristics. To reject the ideal soul, Atman, the Buddha used his teaching as a Dhamma. So the Buddha does not accept the ideal soul, the entity that lasts forever in each and everybody. So the Buddha rejects the ideal soul. For that reason, the Buddha used his teaching as a Dhamma. So Dhamma means the reality that bears its own intrinsic nature. So Pali, Naisata, Naisiva, Sabhava, Naisata, Naisiva, Sabhava. Intrinsic nature or absence of being or any soul. There's no being, there's no soul, but they have their own characteristics. So the reality that bears its own intrinsic nature. So that is called the Dhamma. I think that is very important to understand. The Dhamma here refer to how to say that, like it 12 bases and 80 elements. 12 bases and 80 elements. So they have their own characteristics. Regarding with the eye, its characteristic is the seeing, seeing something. Its own characteristics. Nobody created that one. They have their own characteristics. So all the 80 elements, they have their own characteristics. So you will not find, if you analyze a being or anything into 80 elements, you will not find any being. you will not find any soul. So that lasts forever. So if we analyze the being, there's only 80 elements. So actually in the five aggregate, so the Buddha analyzed a being into 5. And the 12 basis, the Buddha analyzed the beings into 12. Here 80 elements, so the Buddha analyzed the being into 80 elements. So if you look at 80 elements, if you analyze one by one, so you will not see any being, you will not see any soul or atman. So they arise, they passes away. It arises and passes away. So for that reason, there's no any entity that exists forever. For that, so these 80 elements, so they bear their own intrinsic natures. So as the unconsciousness, knowing something to see, no? So ear consciousness is knowing the sound. They have their own characteristics. So if you look at 80 elements, there's no being. There's no a male or female. There's no animals. There's no monastery like this. There's no chairs. So if we analyze each chair, we can find some material phenomena that can be found in 80 elements. Especially when we analyze the beings, there's no beings, just only 80 elements, right? 80 elements. So the same thing, the Dhamma is interpreted in the commentaries. The reality that bear its own intrinsic natures. So when the Buddha talk about Cheta, consciousness, actually the intrinsic nature of consciousness is knowing, right? Knowing. Then among the 52, contact, its own characteristics. Feeling, they also have its own characteristics. Then 28 material phenomena, they have their own characteristics. Nibbana, its own characteristics. So you will not find any beings. Naisata, Naijiva, Sabhava. There's no absence of being, you know. It's the absence of being and absence of soul. For that reason, it's called, actually the Dhamma, dhātu, the commentary mentioned. The commentaries usually give the definition of dhātu similar to the Vāda Dhamma. But of course, the Dhamma has a wider definition. The Dhamma sometimes means if you practice in a good way, that good deed will bear, you know, its own result. If you do unwholesome actions, it will bear the same unwholesome result. So that is Dhamma. Nobody is forcing you to go somewhere, or nobody is judging your karma upon your karma. That's also called Dhamma. But of course, the Buddha used all his teachings in Dhamma. The reason is it bears its own characteristics. So that means it exists long before he appears. It will exist forever. Dhamma hawe rakati dhammachari. For those who are doing good things, so good fruits will bear. That is called Dhamma. But another thing is, according to Hinduism, Nibbana is the end of this material life. Actually, here material life means you have your own body, material phenomena. You can see it, right? So that is Nibbana is the end of this material life, this life. But of course, if you have a full of unwholesome actions, you will go around samsara, according to Hinduism. You will still have a material life, but when you exhaust all your karma and if you purify your soul, so your soul will reunite with the super soul. So here, according to Hinduism, so Nibbana is the end of this material life. There is still another spiritual life. This is spiritual life. Even after one attain final deliverance from samsara. If you attain Nibbana, that means you achieve spiritual life. So you no longer go around samsara. So you will enjoy the bliss of super soul. Well, we can see that super soul forever. So that is called spiritual life. What they call it, spiritual life. So in the individual soul, we call it Atman, reunites with the super soul, Paramatman, or enter the kingdom of the God. Enter the kingdom of the God. That is what they believe. So in Hinduism, they believe the theory of soul. So if you can beautify your soul by not doing unwholesome actions, so at the end of this life, you will achieve spiritual life. You will still have another life, another existence. So that is called spiritual life. So your soul reunite with the super soul, great soul. Then you will enjoy, no? So the bliss of Nibbana, what they say, no? But according to Buddhism, Nibbana means when you attain final Nibbana, your mind and body, everything extinguished, just like a fire, right? Fire extinguished because if you do not have any fuels, it's extinguished. You cannot find anywhere. Consciousness, that consciousness, do not have any footing or cannot establish any existence. There's no more existence. So that is according to Nibbana. According to Buddhism. But according to Hinduism, even you end your samsara, even you can call it you attain Nibbana, you still have another life, spiritual life. That is different. Here, the Buddha used the word dhātu. In Udana Pali, we have some sodas under the name of Nibbana dhātu. Nibbana dhātu. So the Buddha used the word dhātu, that he went to clarify that even you attain Nibbana, Nibbana is not his soul, no? Not his soul. So it is also a complete denial of the idea of unity or with the Brahma or unity or with the God after the death of Arahant. I think this is a very sad case. So Sabbe Dhamma Anattati, right? Sabbe Dhamma, all the Dhamma, all phenomena are anatta, non-self. But here, not Sabbe Sankhara. So Sankhara, if we say Sankhara, Nibbana is not included. So when the Buddha talked anatta, non-self, so he used the word Dhamma, not Sankhara. Sabbe Dhamma Anattati. So all phenomena, including Nibbana, non-self. So even Arahant died, he achieved final Nibbana. So even the word Nibbana do not have any soul. Nibbana is not his soul, not his super soul. Sabbe Dhamma Anattati. So for that reason, to show that the Buddha used the word Nibbana dhātu, Nibbana element. So that element is not his soul, not his soul. So the Buddha went to deny, the idea of unity or with the Brahma or God. For that reason, the Buddha used the word dhātu. element, right? Element. Actually, the element is very beautiful word, dhātu. So there is only 80 elements in according to Abhidhamma. You understand? Any question regarding with the Dhamma and dhātu? No question, huh? I hope you understand. Actually, this is very such a case. Dhātu, everything, Chaita, Cetasika, Rupa, Nibbana, 4 ultimate realities. So they have their own characteristics. So there is no beings. You will not find any beings. When you analyze in terms of ultimate realities, and so there is no soul, no? You will not find any soul when you analyze. So Nibbana is, of course, not impermanent. We can even say Nibbana is permanent, not the same as the soul, According to Hinduism, soul is permanent, eternal, everlasting. But soul and Nibbana is not the same. So actually, according to Buddhism, when you can experience the bliss of Nibbana with your Magga and Phalaccheda, you have to experience, you have to experience. But it's not a soul, even though it is permanent. It exists permanently. When you achieve Magga and Phalaccheda, you can experience it. It's not something to touch, just only when you attain Magga and Phalaccheda, you can experience the bliss of Nibbana. Anytime, akalika. The moment you attain Magga Phalaccheda, you can experience the bliss. In that sense, it is permanent. It's permanent for anybody. When you attain Magga Phalaccheda, you have your own Nibbana, the bliss of Nibbana. So when somebody attains Nibbana at the same time, and they can experience the bliss of Nibbana at the same time. So, soul, actually, soul as a soul is everlasting, according to Hinduism. So in Buddhism, there's not such a thing as everlasting. But when we say Nibbana exists at all time, that doesn't mean just like it's something, not just like a soul. How can I explain that? For that reason, the Buddha used the word dhātu. It's a very important word. He wants to show that so just element, we have only 80 elements. Other than that, no soul. The Buddha used the word Dhamma. So when the Buddha indicate Dhamma, including Nibbana, right? So there's no soul. So we have 80 elements. Actually, these are not very. These are not new. Number one, the eye elements. So we have an eye element, that is a material phenomenon. The ear element, the nose element, the tongue element, the body element. So these are 5 sensitivity matters. So these are real, ultimate real per matter. So you can find it, in a being. Eye element. Of course, there are some people who do not have eye element. Some people do not have the ear element. But in general, people as a being with these 5 sensitivity matters. There is just elements. So Naisata, Naijiva, the Bhava, they don't have any. You cannot find any the trace of beings. You cannot find the trace of soul. They arise, they pass away. So when the Buddha want to deny the ideal soul, he analyzed, sometimes in terms of aggregate, sometimes in terms of tray basis, sometimes 80 element. So by analyzing a being into, like this, in different categories, so the Buddha showed that, no, they arise and they pass away. There is no such a thing that like a soul. The Buddha analyzed in such a way. So these are 5 sensitivity matters. And we have the visible form element, everything that you see. So that is called the visible form element. Rupa dhātu, the sound element, the smell element, the taste element, the tangible element that you can touch. So these are called objective material phenomena. So these are the rupa, right? These are the rupa. These are the rupa. So up to here, so 1 to 10, all these are material phenomena. Material phenomena. Then the I consciousness. Here, the mind-based manayatana is divided into 7. 7. So in this way, we have it became 80 element. Number 11, the I consciousness element. I consciousness. When you see with your eye and the form, I consciousness element will arise. It arrives and passes away. No soul, right? But I consciousness element has its own characteristics, right? Knowing something that see. The ear consciousness element, the nose consciousness element, tongue consciousness element, the body consciousness element. So about 5 elements are nothing but the 2 saccā 5-fold consciousness that you have learned in the rootless consciousness, among the 80 rootless consciousness. It is called as a 2 saccā 5-fold consciousness. So actually in many suttas, so the Buddha talk about 6 elements. 6 elements. So Patavi dhātu, the earth element, the fire element, the water element, the air element, and the mind element, consciousness element. Vijñāna dhātu. Another one is space consciousness. So the Buddha used space as a, the space between 2 persons, the space between 2 chairs. So this is the Buddha used the word space, akasa, as a one element. So the Buddha analyzed this world that consists of that is a combination of 6 elements. 6 elements. So here, 11 to 15 are 2 sets of consciousness. This is a consciousness, right? Consciousness. Then 16, the mind element, mano dhātu, the 5-door advadincheda. So 5-door advadincheda and 2 type of receiving consciousness. So these 3 are embodying for the rising of mind, rising of the mind, in the 5-door. For that reason, they are called mano dhātu, the mind elements. So they are embodying, these 3 chetas are embodying for the rising of the mind. It's called the mind element, mano dhātu. Then regarding with the mind element, you can see comprehensive in your Abhidhamma 146, 146. Then 70, the mind consciousness element, mano vijñāna dhātu. So all remaining chetas. So actually we have in earlier we have talked 2 sets of 5-fold consciousness, 10 chetas. So in the 60, 3 chaita, altogether 30. So you can 30 minus, then 76 chaitas. So these 70 chaita, actually we have learned in the third chapter. In the third chapter, when we talk about dhātu, the base, the base. So the mind consciousness element, all remaining chaitas. So the last one is the mental object elements. The mental object, the object of the mind, the object of the mind. Actually, the object of the mind, we have learned in the Aramana, the object in the third chapter. According to in third chapter, anything can be the object of the mind. But here, so we have taken, many rupa and chaitas. So the rest are the mental object base. So we have to take the rest. For that reason, here 80, the mental object base means 52 mental factors, and the 60 kinds of certain matters, and nibbana. So these are called dhātu, the mental object base. So actually, mental object base can be anything, anything. But here, as we have taken some rupa and some chaita, so we have to take the rest. So 52 mental factors and 60 kinds of certain matters and nibbana. But here, concept, panyati is not taken. The reason is we are talking about ultimate reality. So these are 80 elements. So when the 5 aggregate, some people do not have any problem to understand rupa, but they have a difficulty to understand about the mind. For that reason, the Buddha when the Buddha talk about 5 aggregate, and the Buddha preach such people to 5 aggregate, because there's only one rupa, right? The aggregate of matter, the rest are mind and citta and cetasika. And for those who have a difficulty to understand about the matter, material phenomena, the Buddha talk about 12 bases. So in the 12 bases, other than the last one, the rest talk about the material phenomena. But for those who have a difficulty to understand both nama rupa, and the Buddha analyzed this one, 80, So according to individuals, disposition of individuals, so the Buddha used the method, different method. So this is a 80 elements, of course, is very complete analysis regarding with the beings. Question? Any question? No. Okay. Sorry? Manodwara, yeah. Actually, here, Manodwara and Manodhātu, they have a different characteristics. Manodwara in the third chapter, you refer to the third chapter, right? Manodwara, mind door. So when you talk about mind door, it is a 90 Bhavanga Chaita. So actually, so after Bhavanga, all the Chaita came, in the mind process. Just talk about the Indo process, Indo process. So Bhavanga, then after that Bhavanga, how to say that, shaking, Bhavanga is shaking, sorry, vibrating, vibration of Bhavanga, then after that rest Bhavanga. So these are Bhavanga, right? Then after that 5 door advancing chetas. 5 door advancing cheta. That is the active process. 5 door advancing cheta. After that, I consciousness, receiving consciousness, etc. It's go like this. So according to Manodwara, mind door, so Bhavanga cheta is the mind door. The mind door. The reason is the 5 door advancing I consciousness, these chetas are coming out from that door, from the Bhavanga. It looks like, actually it's not coming out, it's a metaphor, simile, simile. So when Bhavanga stop, then 5 door advancing and I consciousness, all type of cheta come, It looks like they come from Bhavanga cheta. So for that reason, 90 Bhavanga cheta is called mind door in the 3rd chapter. But here, mind element, different, mind element. All type of mind is called mind element. But even the mind element, we have to divide into, actually here, into 3, the mind element 5-4 advancing cheta, 2 type of receiving chetas. So this is also mind element, we can call it mind element. But the 70, the mind consciousness element, this is also mind element, we can call it. But the Buddha trying to differentiate, trying to use another term to differentiate, how to say, different type of mind. So actually the number 60, the last 3 can be called mind element. But they are different from the mind door. You got the meaning? So it is in the aramana, in the object, in the 3rd chapter, Dhammaramana, right? Dhammaramana, the mental object. So something that we can take with our mind. Actually, anything can be Dhammaramana. But in the aramana, in the object, Chakku, Sota, Gana, Jiva, Kaya are taken in previously, For that reason, apart from Chakku, Sota, Gana, Jiva, Kaya, the rest are called Dhammaramana. But here, Dhammaramana and Dhamma dhātu are different. Actually, if we take it according to Abhidhamma, but of course according to Sutta, Dhamma dhātu can be anything, can be called anything. All type of cheta, cetasika, rupa, nibbana. But here, some of the cheta, all the cheta are already taken by previous element. For that reason, so other than cheta, some of the matter, some of the rupa have been taken by previous 5 elements. So for that reason, we have to take the rest. But here, the mental object base, not the base, mental object element. So actually, when we talk about mental object element, according to, if we take it literally, it can be anything. Anything can be mental object. Anything can be the object of the mind. But when we talk about dhātu element, Actually, concept is not an element. Concept is not element, right? For that reason, we have to take only ultimate realities. Ultimate realities. So when we take the object of the mind, anything can be object of the mind. But when we talk about the object, the mind object element, we have to forget about the concept. Concept is not an element. But here, without taking any four ultimate realities, so the mental object mental object element excluded all the citta and rupa which were taken by previous element. We have to take only the rest. Only the rest. Okay. Sorry?
They are not permanent, right?
Sorry?
The 18 elements are not permanent. They are not permanent.
Actually, when we take Nibbana as the element, but here the last one, Nibbana is taken as the element, we cannot say that Nibbana is impermanent. Nibbana is permanent. It exists anytime, but it's not like a soul, not like a soul. Nibbana, what we say is Nibbana permanently, the bliss of Nibbana, just like a happiness, you cannot say where happiness is, right? Where happiness is. But when you have when your mind is all the conditions are met, you will experience happiness. Just like that, happiness exists anytime, anywhere, anytime. But the thing is, we have to create condition to experience that happiness. Happiness is not something like a soul, But when we talk about soul, so that means, according to them, it is permanent. It is permanent. It's it's very difficult to differentiate between them. But when we talk about Nibbana as the element, actually Nibbana is, we cannot say Nibbana is not impermanent. Nibbana is permanent. But what I mean is the rest, the rest. All sankhara, sabbe sankhara, and nature. All sankhara, but here, according to Abhidhamma, citta, cettasika, rupa, they are sankhara. They are impermanent. But when the Buddha talk about anatta, sabbe dhamma, anatta, not sankhara. But here, including the dhamma, including nibbana, so all the ultimate realities are anatta. Anatta. So here, by taking that example, apart from nibbana, all type of element are impermanent because they are sankhara. Nibbana is not impermanent. In contrast, we can say that nibbana is a permanent. No? Okay.
First one, you mentioned there are 16 kinds of subtle methods.
Yeah.
What are these 16? And the second one is, we also heard about heart-based and how this heart-based links to these 18 elements.
80 element, right? So heart-based is among the 60 kinds of subtle matters. Heart-based. Because in earlier one, so we have taken 10 material phenomena. Eye, ear, nose, eye sensitivity, ear, nose, tongue, the body, and form, sounds, smell, taste, then tangible object. So we have taken 10 material phenomena, 10 matters. So So 10 matters. Oh, sorry, not 12 matters, because the tangible object, according to tangible object, 3, right? 3 is a tangible objects. Earth element, fire element, and the air element. So these 3 are tangible objects. So we have taken 12 material phenomena in the. Then I will show. I think that is better to show. So these 5 are 5 sensitivity matters. 5 sensitivity matters. Then 6 to 10. These are 7 material phenomena. 7. Actually, typo error. It should be 7. 7 objective material phenomena: form element, sound element, smell, taste, tangible element. Tangible element here means the earth element, water, fire. Sorry, not water, fire element and air element. So altogether here 7. Previous 5, altogether 12. So the rest of the 16 are called subtle element, Sukkuma Rupa. So here, the heart base, heart base is among the subtle matter. Because this is the object of the mind. The object of the mind. So you cannot see heart base. You cannot hear heart base. So you have to see with your eye or with your mind. For that reason, it is called heart base. Of course, when you see the sound of your heart, it's not a Hariya Vatu. Hariya Vatu is the Kamaja Rupa that exists in the blood. That is in the heart, in your heart, in the blood. So that means you cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot touch. You are Hariya Vatu. But you have to know with your mind. For that reason, it is called the mental object element. Okay. Question? Any more question? Then finish about 80 element. Actually, for that reason, Abhidhamma is a little bit complicated. Especially the last 3 elements, right? The last 3 elements. The first 5 is the 5 matters, and second 5 is the 7 matters. Altogether 12 matters, right? And then the third 5, yeah. So the third 5 is the Chaita. Chaitas. Dripancha Vijnana, 2 sets of 5-fold consciousness. But the last 3 is very complicated. But the mind element, Mano dhātu, so these elements is important for the arising of the mind. For that reason, it is called Mano dhātu. So in the 5 door, when you see something, then without 5 door adverting, there is no unconsciousness. For the arising of the mind, important. For that reason, it's called Mano dhātu. 5 door adverting. And also receiving consciousness. Receiving is very important. Then the rest of the 76 Chaita are called the mind consciousness element. They are more important for the arising of the mind, And the last one, all the mind and matters, all Chaitasika, all Rupa and Nibbana, which are not stated in earlier, is called the mental object element. As I earlier said that all type of Chaita, Chaitasika, Rupa, Nibbana are mental object element. But according to Abhidhamma, we have to exclude ultimate reality that are taken earlier, right? Okay, then let's talk about Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. So actually here we are talking about the all, right? Sabba Sangha, compendium of the all. So the Buddha trying to, the author collect all important topic from the teachings of the Buddha. He want to show that these are the all, right? That can be, anything can be put into these categories. Now let's talk about Four Noble Truths. As you all know that this is the central teachings of the Buddha. So the Buddha preached Four Noble Truths for the first time in the first sermon. So this Four Noble Truths is command to all Buddhists. Command to all Buddhists. So in 4 years ago, I used to listen the Dhamma talk given by Mahayana monks. The topic is Four Noble Truths. He used Dhammacakka Bodhana Sutta as a topic, and he used the daily example. Actually, when I listen to his talk, nothing mysterious things, just a very simple, the same thing. He talked about Four Noble Truths, both Mahayana, Theravada, the same. Talking by Mahayana monks, Four Noble Truths, the same. But they may use different terms, different terms. But terms, language are very important. If you cannot use correct language, it will lead to misunderstanding, misunderstanding. That's very important. In the discourses, it is known as the special teachings of the Buddhas, all Buddhas. Buddhana Samukkansika Desana. So actually, we have a graduate discourse. So when the Buddha taught to the normal audience, so the Buddha used a method called Anubhava-kata, graduate discourse, starting from dana, sila, and saccā. Saccā means a good destination. So if you do dana, if you keep precept, then you will go to a good destination. The next one is kamana adinava. Kamana adinava. How sensual pleasures are very dangerous. How dangerous they are. How nice to overcome all these ones. Means higher, getting higher. Then after that, the Buddha preached special dhammas. That is called the Four Noble Truths. So in Mahāhatipādavamā Sutta, Venerable Sariputta gave a simile. We call it simile of elephant footprint. Mahāhatipādavamā Sutta. Maha means great. Actually, simile of great elephant footprint. Venerable Sariputta taught to the monks, friends, just as the footprint of any living being that walks can be placed within an elephant's footprint, so the elephant's footprint is declared the chief of them because of its great sight. Elephant footprint is the greatest, the biggest in the wall, in the wall. But don't say that the footprint of dinosaur is bigger. Don't say that. It's a simile, right? By that time, if Venerable Sariputta say the footprint of dinosaur is the biggest, the listener will not understand. They will not accept, what is dinosaur, They will not know it. But of course, now if we are talking about animals, so we have to talk dinosaur, dinosaur. But here, in this discourse, the footprints are elephant's footprint. So too, all wholesome states, kusala dhamma, can be included in the Four Noble Truths. All wholesome states can be put into the Four Noble Truths. So that means very profound and very comprehensive. We say Ariya Saccā. Why Noble Truth? Why Noble Truth? Visuddhimagga mentioned, quoting some sutta from Samyutta Nikaya. So they are called Noble Truths, Ariya Saccā, because the noble ones, like the Buddhas, Vichika Buddhas and Arahants, etc., so they penetrate Four Noble Truths. For that reason, they are called Noble Truth. Here, the noble means the noble ones, just like the Buddhas, Vichika Buddha, etc. So they penetrate, they understand this truth. For that reason, it's called Noble Truth. And second one, so they are called Noble Truths because they are the truth or the noble one. Here, the noble one means the Buddha. The truth of the Buddha. So the Buddha preached these four truths. For that reason, it's called Ariya Saccā. The Tathagata is the noble ones. Actually, in Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha said that the Tathagata is the noble one. Therefore, they are called Noble Truth, Ariya Saccā. The Buddha himself said that. Quoting this sutta, Visuddhimagga said that they are the truth of the noble one, the truth of the Buddha. And that one, they are called Noble Truth because one becomes a noble person, Ariya Puggala, by penetrating Four Noble Truths. If someone penetrates Four Noble Truths, he or she became Ariya Puggala, noble. For that reason, it's called Ariya Saccā. And the last one, they are called Noble Truth because they are the truth that are noble. But here, Visuddhimagga said that to be noble is to be not real. Too negative. Okay, question. Okay. Can I finish this one first? Okay, I will finish this one first. Wait. So they are called Noble Truth because they are the truth that are noble. The truth is noble. Why noble? They are not unreal. Quoting this one, because these noble truths are real. Real. Anyone can be no. Not unreal. Too negative, Too negative, Not otherwise. Therefore, they are called Noble Truths. They are always truth, all the time truth. Anytime. To anyone, anywhere. For that reason, it's called Noble Truth. Okay, question?
My question is, the 18 elements are impermanent. So therefore...
Not all 80, apart from Nibbana. Nibbana, yeah.
So therefore, the path to cessation of suffering is actually because it is impermanent.
Yeah, you're right.
There is actually no suffering if to me nothingness. So where is the suffering? It's in your mind, it's in your conscience, you remove it and come back. To say that this is path to cessation of suffering. Four Noble Truths.
Yeah, you mean Four Noble Truth is the
Path to cessation.
yeah, the possible thing.
Because this has mentioned the 18 elements
Yeah.
that besides Nibbana are impermanent. So therefore it is just come, remove, come, go.
Yeah.
So therefore that is the answer to the fourth Noble Truth.
Yeah. Actually, sabbe sankhara anicca. All sankhara. Here, sankhara means apart from nibbana, the rest of sankhara. Cheta, Cetasika, Rupa, according to Abhidhamma. So are impermanent, including Magga and Phala Cheta. So the Buddha in many discourses, the Buddha said that what are impermanent are suffering. If something is not permanent, they are suffering. Your happiness also suffering, because happiness arises, it will disappear. It has the nature of impermanent. So what are impermanent are suffering. Actually, I forgot Pali. So Magga, saccā, Four Noble Truths, they are also Cetasika. Actually, Four Noble Truths, how to say that? Noble Eightfold Path, the Noble Eightfold Path, that's Cetasika. So they arise, they pass away. For that reason, what are impermanent are suffering. They are also suffering. Even the path is safe. For that reason, in the final nibbana, everything, including Cheta, Cetasika, Rupa, everything extinguished once and for all. Then only you achieve nibbana. So you total cessation of suffering. Okay, thank you. Then Four Noble Truths. So I will take it from the first sermon. The Noble Truth of Suffering. Dukkha, Ariya Saccā. The Noble Truth of the original suffering. Samudaya Saccā. The Noble Truth of the cessation of suffering. Nirodha Saccā. That is Nibbana. Then the Noble Truth of the way leading to cessation of suffering. That is Magga Saccā. So these are Four Noble Truths. Then I will go one by one. Number one, suffering. What is dukkha? The Buddha said that now this bhikkhus is the Noble Truth of suffering. Birth is suffering. So we have a rebirth in many lives. It is suffering. Death is suffering. Union with what is displeasing is suffering. So when you are associating with someone you don't like, is suffering. Separation from what is pleasing is suffering. So when you separate from someone you like, it's also suffering. Universal, right? Not to get what one wants is suffering. So if you want something or you want someone, if you do not get, then you're suffering. These are universal. Anytime, anywhere, to anyone. These are correct. There are many types of suffering. Now the Buddha used summary method. In brief, the five aggregates subject to clinging or suffering. We will five aggregate: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. These are five aggregates. So if you cling to those five aggregates, it is suffering. If you do not cling to them, it's not suffering. In other words, you can say that. If you do not cling to the five aggregate, it's not suffering. The word in brief, we can even say that in brief, 12 pieces subject to clinging are suffering. 80 elements So subject to clinging are suffering, like this, Nama rupa, which is subject to clinging, are suffering. You can say that. So the Buddha said that this noble truth or suffering is to be fully understood. So what you can do is you have to understand suffering. Suffering as a suffering. That is the first step, If you know suffering as a suffering, then that is the first step, the first noble truth. The moment you know suffering as a suffering, that means you don't have ignorance. By your ignorance, avijja or moha means not knowing Four Noble Truths. Thus, bhikkhus, in regard to things I have before, there arose in me vision, knowledge, wisdom, truth dhamma, and light. All these are knowledge, wisdom. All these are wisdom, That is suffering. Then the original suffering, dukkha samudaya. Now this bhikkhus is the noble truth. Or the regarding with the dukkha, any question? Suffering? Any objection? No objection, right? These are truth, Not unreal, not otherwise, For that reason, it's called saccā, Ariya saccā. Ariya saccā. One second one. Now this bhikkhu is the noble truth of the original suffering. The original suffering, it is this craving, this craving leads to renewed existence, accompanied by delight and lust, seeking delight here and there. That is craving for sensual pleasures, number one. Number two, craving for existence. Number three, craving for extermination or non-existence. So this is called the original suffering. If you have a three type of craving, that is the original suffering. If you don't have it, no suffering. Actually here I want to explain a little bit. I think many of you attended Soda study class. So we have a lot of discussion there, Many discussions and many questions arose. I think it's very important to understand craving for three types of craving. Number one, craving for sensual pleasures. It's very easy to understand. You crave for something you see, you crave for something you hear, you crave for something you smell, taste, touch. So these are called craving for sensual pleasures. For Brahma, for the Rupa and Arupa Brahma, they don't have this one. They don't have this one. So what they have is craving for existence. So here, craving for existence can be any type of existence. 31 planes of existence, Normally when existence is good, you will crave for it. You will crave for it. How about if you arrive at woeful destination, just like a hare, animal, and beta, as a beta, how? Craving for extermination. You don't want it, You don't want it. You hate it. You want to dominate, Here, the bhikkhhu the extermination, no existence. You don't want that existence. That is a type of craving because of hatred, because of dosa, according to Abhidhamma. According to Abhidhamma, Lobha and dosa arises because of moha, because of moha. Here, craving for existence. Normally, you crave something you crave something how to say, when something is existing, existing. Some people they translate as a craving for becoming, craving for being, like this. Actually, they are also good. Actually, when something is becoming, you crave for it. That is also crave for existence. But here, craving for non-existence. When something is bad, when unpleasant feeling arises, you don't want it, you want to terminate it, stop it, right? That is another type of craving. Craving for extermination. You want to stop it. Actually, when a problem arises in our life, we don't want it, we hate it. So that is another type of craving. Craving for non-existence. You don't want existence of that problem in your life. But actually, when a painful feeling arises in your body, you hate it, you want to terminate it, right? There's another type of, if you hate it, if you don't like it, there's another type of craving for extermination. So actually, according to Buddhism, what we have to do to deal with such a painful feeling, painful experience, is we have to know painful feeling as a painful feeling. Just knowing, clearly comprehension. Call it samuccaya. When painful feeling arises, you know that it's painful feeling. When problem arises, you know that there is a problem. You don't have to hate it. When a good thing arises in your life, you just know that it is a good thing. You just know that. You just know that. But you don't have to like it. Not easy, right? Not easy. For that reason, it's called, noble truth. Very difficult. Normally, when pleasant experience arises in our life, we like it so much. That's craving. But of course, it's not harmful. It's not harmful to go to. It will not bring you to awful destinations, but you will not attain Nibbana. If you like it much, if you grasp it with the love. But unpleasant feeling, normally we hate it, right? We don't like it and we push away. That's also not in accordance with the Buddhist teachings. What the Buddha wants to say is unpleasant experience, unpleasant feeling or a problem arises in our life, we have to know as a problem. We have to know as an unpleasant experience. Right? Then there will be no chance for hatred or anger regarding with the problem or unpleasant feeling, painful feeling. It's very hard. It needs a lot of mindfulness and concentration. So if you can do that, if you don't have any like and dislike, then that will be the end of suffering, cessation of suffering. That means you don't have a craving, It's difficult, right? Difficult. Yeah, actually, it's normally some people who have a lot of like, a lot of dislike, then suffer a lot. Craving, craving. So we have to practice just like a, how can I say, not to have like and dislike, It's not really easy. So not easy, but we have to practice. We have to practice. For that reason, here, equanimity, upekkha, very important. Here, upekkha means among the four Brahma Vihara, for the Brahma Vihara. You don't have like and dislike towards anyone. No bias. As you do not have like and dislike, no bias to do something. Suppose you like this person, you don't like this person. And there will be bias, bias. You favor someone, you like it, There's a bias, If you practice bias, many problems will arise. If you don't have any like and dislike, that's called equanimity. Equanimous feeling, very stable feeling. You do what you should do. You do what you should do. That's equanimous feeling. Equanimous mind. Not really easy, So as the judges in the court, they have to practice equanimous feeling. If they cannot balance their mind, a lot of biases, right? A lot of biases. So actually here, if you try to remove craving, like and dislike, existence, non-existence, then there will be very stable, that will be cessation of suffering. Question? In other words, we can say that everything is impermanent, right? Everything is impermanent. Or pleasant things, when it arises, we like it, We like it. That is craving for existence. So we want existence or that pleasant feeling. Then if unpleasant feeling arises, you don't like it, you don't like existence of that pleasant feeling, then craving for non-existence. So Visuddhimagga mentioned Dukkhi Sukham Patayati. For those who have a painful feeling, they expect pleasant feeling, sukha, pleasant. It's quite natural. When you are painful with some diseases, you want pleasant feeling, So I say, if you practice, the Four Noble Truths, you just know painful feeling as a painful feeling. Any type of feeling is impermanent, right? That painful feeling also impermanent. It will disappear. Just know painful feeling as a painful feeling. Then there's no expectation to have a pleasant feeling. It's very hard. It's very hard. Just stay in the present moment. Just stay in the present moment. But it doesn't mean that you are passive. It doesn't mean that you are passive. You are stay active to cure your diseases, but at the same time you stay in the present moment. Painful feeling as a painful feeling, knowing clearly. There's no hatred, there's no dislike regarding with the painful feeling. Then you don't have a craving. If you don't have a craving, there is cessation of suffering. No suffering, Question? Okay.
I was trained in the national service, so we are supposed to defend our country.
Okay.
And supposing our country is invaded by some enemy, so do you mean that we cannot have belief of hatefulness and so on? Or do we need to just stay equanimity?
Okay, so let's say you are a soldier, right? As a soldier, you have to defend your own country, So actually, of course, the Panadipada, killing has no exception. Whoever you kill, even animal, any type of living beings, killing is killing. But here, hatred, hatred. You can reduce the amount of hatred. Suppose, even though a country is bullying your country, bullying your country, trying to bully, then you just know that they are bullying, they are taking advantage, Then you just know that they are trying to bully, Just know that. No anger. No anger. It's not easy. It's not really easy. It needs a lot of practice, a lot of practice. But of course, if you defend your country, there must be some degree of hatred, some degree of maybe. It's very difficult to practice Kriya Cheda, not really easy. So if you are in a battlefield, there must be, certain degree of, dosa, but we have to reduce. Then we have to practice clarity of mind, Even though they are trying to bully your country, then just know it, they are trying. But you have to protect. You have to protest.
Is it because that Buddha has given us the eightfold path where right livelihood?
Yes.
That's why I ask whether we have the wisdom to choose the right livelihood so that we do not go to the literally impossible. That reduce all your feelings on feelings and interests. Can I say that is that Buddha has foreseen during his time?
But the problem is, we have to differentiate mundane and spiritual, What the Buddha taught in the Four Noble Truths is spiritual one, But mundane affair is up to you, It's up to you. What the Buddha just talk about, spiritual practice. But of course, it cannot be compatible with mundane affairs sometimes. But we shouldn't say that. It's up to individual. For those who want to protect for their own country, they must fight, right? With the enemies. But of course, trying not to mix with the spiritual part. It is just mundane affair, mundane affair. It is up to individuals who want to follow. If they want to follow 100% spiritual path, then they have to refrain from killing, any type of killing. But so there is one in the Dhammapara commentaries. There is one ministers who is I think is a minister for defense. Defense ministers. So the minister of King Kosala. So he won the battles, and he was given as a kingship for 7 days. Within 7 days, he was enjoying the luxuries and going out just like a king. That when the Buddha, actually he is drinking a lot. When he heard teachings of the Buddha, and he practiced mindfulness, then before his death, he became arahant. So there are some examples like this. So even though Venerable Angulimala, right? Even though he killed a lot, he became arahant. So even though someone is doing as a soldiers, if they follow the Noble Eightfold Path, they can attain Nibbana, they can become arahant. But of course, we shouldn't say that. We shouldn't compare, the mundane affair and spiritual path. It's up to the individual. The Buddha do not denounce, the Buddha do not denounce becoming a soldier like this, Question? Okay, the second noble truth. So this noble truth, or the original suffering, is to be abandoned. So if you want to remove all your suffering, so you have to remove craving. If you want to remove your problem, trying to remove craving, 3 types of craving. The more you can reduce the amount of craving, the more you will be free from suffering. The third one, the cessation of suffering, dukkha nirodha. Now this bhikkhus is the noble truth of cessation of suffering. It is the remainder fading away and cessation of that same craving. We have a three type of craving. So if you can make remainderless, if you can get rid of all type of craving, that will be cessation of suffering. Giving up that same craving, relinquishing, freedom from it, and non-reliance on it. So that is cessation of suffering. So that means the more you can reduce the amount of craving, the more you are nearer to Nibbana. It's quite obvious, it's quite true. It's quite true. When somebody is talking ill of others, ill of you, when somebody is criticizing you, if you don't have any attachment to that, then you don't have suffering. You just take it as a song, no? It's not easy. It's not easy. We need to practice, We need to practice. Politicians, they practice a lot. So they, for those, of course, some, after hearing such criticism, some may commit suicide because it's suffering, right? They cannot take it. They have a lot of craving toward that song. Not easy, but need to practice. So this noble truth of cessation of suffering is to be realized. So you have to realize it, right? Here the main thing is to remove craving. Trying to understand what is the meaning of craving. And trying to reduce the amount of craving. Then your suffering, your problem will be lesser and lesser. Here Nibbana is used as a dukkha nirodha, cessation of suffering. And the last one, the way leading to cessation of suffering. Now this bhikkhus is the noble truth of the way leading to cessation of suffering. It is this noble eightfold path. Actually, this is the path you have to practice. That is, right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentrations. Actually, we have learned earlier. So in earlier, so we have here in the Compendium of Categories, we have two type of magga, normal magga and special magga. Normal magga is the path or the way to go to good and bad destinations, right? But in 12 magga, right thought, it can be normal right thought. But here, in the Four Noble Truths, here, right view, right action, etc. So all these are the magga, the mental factor that associate with the magga, that arises in the magga. This noble truth of the path leading to cessation of suffering is to be developed. We have to develop, we have to cultivate, we have to increase. Trying to increase the Eightfold Noble Path. If you don't have it, trying to have it. If you have it, trying to increase. So that is that you have to do. If you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, you will attain cessation of suffering. And you can remove craving. Actually, we have learned the Noble Eightfold Path, right? You don't need to learn. You don't need to learn again. But it's quite rushed, right, at the time. quite rash. I think you don't worry, you have to learn in the Sutta class. Very detailed, based on the Sutta, It's not my own ideas, but I will use many Suttas to talk about right view, to talk about right intention, many Suttas. So you will clearly understand what is the Noble Eightfold Path. So here, according to Abhidhamma, Abhidhamma means commentary, I will say that. According to commentaries, we have two types of magga, the path to good and bad destinations. So in that sense, when we have a right view means knowing good and bad action, knowing theory of karma. That is the right view. Then if you have a right view, you have a right thought, right intention. If you have a right intention, all your action, all your speech, all your livelihood will be right. Then you will right effort, right mindfulness, right concentrations. So if you practice those eight magga, 8 paths, you will go to good destinations, just like a heaven and Brahmaram. That is the path to good and bad destinations. Then we also have a wrong path. The rest of the 5 are wrong path. If you follow wrong path, then you will go to wrong destinations. So that is in this Compendium of Categories, we have a 12 magga, right? 12 magga. But Eightfold Noble Path or 8 maggas mentioned in the Four Noble Truths, according to commentaries, it is not a mundane. It's not a mundane one. It is supra mundane one. So we have 8 mental factors. So right view is the wisdom, the faculty of wisdom. Later I will show you. So right view is faculty of wisdom. So that wisdom is not a normal wisdom. So that wisdom arises together with the magga cheta. So that is called magga, according to commentaries. But now we are learning according to Abhidhamma. So here, the Noble Eightfold Path or 8 paths mentioned in the Four Noble Truths, and another 8 paths, so that are mentioned in the 12 magga, are different. Right? Different. So this Noble Truth of the path leading to cessation suffering is to be developed. You have to develop, you have to increase, you have to cultivate. To remove craving. Number 1, to remove craving. If you can remove craving, you will attain cessation suffering. The Four Noble Truths in Abhidhamma, but here, when I say Abhidhamma, is Visuddhimagga. Number 1, suffering. According to Visuddhimagga, suffering means 81 mundane chetas. 81 mundane chetas. All mental factors except greed. So we have 52 mental factors. Among 52, you have to exclude greed, lobha. Because lobha is the original suffering, according to commentary explanations. Suffering here means 81 mundane chetas, 51 mental factors, and 28 matters. That is suffering. But this type of definition is not in accordance with suttas. Because the Buddha clearly said that what is impermanent is suffering. Magga and phala cheta are also impermanent. So they are suffering. Any type of cheta, any type of mental factor they are suffering. The original suffering, greed. The original suffering, greed. So according to Suttas, not 19, it's 19 different from the Sutta definitions. We have 3 types of suffering, craving for sensual pleasures. Of course, there is a great greed. Craving for existence, that's also greed, lobha. Craving for non-existence, that is hatred. But commentary, Visuddhimagga mentioned that sukhi dukkha, dukkhi sukham patayati, for those who are suffering, they desire for happiness or pleasure. When somebody is painful, desire for pleasure. So actually, if you have a desire, then you forget about painful feeling. If you do not know painful feeling as a painful feeling, that is ignorance. Because of ignorance, then hatred to that painful feeling arises. A very subtle point, a very subtle point. But of course, in the normal cases, if we are painful, we release, we want to release that pain. But according to Buddha, no one, no desire. Just painful feeling as a painful feeling, just knowing. Only sati and panya. But here, the original suffering, greed. Then number 3, the cessation of suffering, nibbana. And number 4, the way leading to cessation of suffering. Here, the magga saccā, the 8-part factor. 8-part factors that arising in the 4 magga chaitas. 4 magga chaitas. Actually, magga chaita are supramundane chaita. In the 2nd chapter, we have learned that the first magga chaita associated with 36 mental factors. 36 mental factors. So what are the 36? Okay, forget about it. 38 mental factors. We have a 30 inyamanya, right? 30 inyamanya with 25 beautiful mental factor. 30 and 35. 25, sorry. 36, right? Oh no. I also forgot about it. So anyway, 36. Magga chaita associate with 36 mental factor, right? That means among the 36, so commentary take only 8 mental factor. But when right view, it's the faculty of wisdom. The last one, wisdom. And number 2, right thought is vitakka. Right speech as a right speech. Right action as a right action. Right action is a mental factor, right? Then right livelihood as a right livelihood. Right effort, energy, vidya. Right mindfulness as a mindfulness, sati. Right concentration as a one-pointedness, ekaggata. So Abhidhamma take it. Only 8 mental factors that arises in the 4 magga chaita. So that is magga. So the 4th noble truth. The 4th noble truth. Then we have a 4 magga chaita. Following chaitas are not counted as the 4 noble truths. According to Abhidhamma, 4 noble truths are Not everything, everything cannot be put into Four Noble Truths. So this one also, not in accordance with Mahahati Padavama Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 28. Simile of great elephant footprint, you know. Any animal footprint can be put into elephant footprint. Anything can be put into Four Noble Truths. But here, Abhidhamma take it as a. When I say Abhidhamma, it's not a seven Abhidhamma text. It's just Visuddhimagga and other commentaries. We have to remember this one, no? Vibhanga from seven Abhidhamma texts mentioned differently. Mentioned differently. Magga-cheda, so following cheda are not counted as a Four Noble Truths. Magga-cheda, we have four Magga-cheda. Even though there is a four Magga-cheda, we have to take as a one because it's one characteristics, right? Knowing. And 28 chedas which associate with Magga-cheda. Actually, Magga-cheda associate with 36 mental factors. So, among them, 8 mental factors have been taken by Magga-saccā. The rest, 28, are not taken. Another one, we have 4 phala-cheda. This one also taken as a one cheda. And 36 chedas, so which associate with the phala-cheda. So these are not counted as a Four Noble Truths. We call it saccā vimodhi. So the chedas that are not counted, that are free from four saccā, Four Noble Truths, according to Abhidhamma. Actually, it's not mentioned in the Bhikkhu Body book. Any question? Okay.
All mental factors except greed are suffering. Right?
Sorry.
All mental factors except greed
Yeah.
are suffering.
Yeah.
The mental factors include the beautiful mental factors, faith, wisdom, mindfulness, non-greed, non-hatred, shame of doing things, shame of wrongdoing, fear.
Okay.
How can it be considered as suffering?
Okay, good question. Very good, very sharp mind. We have only 52, right? We're only 52. So that 51, except greed, right? Mundane, 81 mundane factor, 81 mundane cheda. So these mental factor, these are associated with the mundane cheda. Mundane cheda. Even though they are the same as the mental factor, but they are different. Here, the Noble Eightfold Path, 8 mental factor that associate with the 4 Magga-cheda. But the earlier one, all mental factor except greed. So these these mental factor that associate with mundane cheda. Mundane cheda. So actually, I think we have to remember in this way. Cheta and Chetasika arises together. But when they arise, we use it Sambayoga, association, right? Association. But here also the same thing. Magga-cheda associate with 36 mental factor. And phala-cheda also associate with the 36 mental factor. But they are different. Even though the number is the same, they are different. So 36 mental factor which associate with the Magga-cheda and 36 mental factor which associate with the Phala Cheda, they are different because Cheda is different. But over there also in the 81 mundane Cheda. So 81 mundane Cheda associate with the 52 mental factor. So among the 52, we have to exclude greed, because greed will be taken by second noble truth. So that 52 mental factor are associated with mundane Cheda. They are not the same with the Noble Eightfold Path. The 8 mental factor in the Magga Saccā, they are different. They are different. And you got my point? A little bit complicated, right? A little bit complicated. Okay, I will explain. Simple way. We have it. Contact is a mental factor. Phassa, contact associated with 89 Cheda, right? 89 Cheda. And feeling also associated with 89 Cheda. Even though 89 Cheda are the same, but they are different because they are friend, it's different. Phassa, Vedana. 89 Cheda that are associated with the contact, 89 Cheda that are that associated with the feeling, different. You got it? Just like that, even though vitaka. No, the first one, right view is the faculty of wisdom, right? The right view is faculty of wisdom. The faculty of wisdom and the Fourth Noble Truth, and the faculty of wisdom as a suffering. Faculty of wisdom also included in the First Noble Truth, right? The First Noble Truth. They are different. Getting confused, Getting confused. Maybe I think I want to explain. The First Noble Truth, the First Noble Truth, 81 mundane Cheda. Cheda is mundane, And the Fourth Noble Truth, the First Noble Truth, 81 mundane Cheda. The First Noble Truth, suffering, 81 mundane Cheda, and mental factor that associate with 81. It should be 52, 52, but we have to exclude greed. The reason is greed will be second noble truth, second noble truth. For that reason, we have to take only 51, only 51, and 28 matters. Don't forget about the Cheda. Cheda is mundane Cheda, mundane Cheda. And Chedasika, they associate with the mundane Cheda, In the case of Fourth Noble Truth, so 8 mental factor, 8 Chedasikas have to be taken as a Fourth Noble Truth. So those Chedasikas associate with the Magga Cheda, not mundane Cheda. Magga Cheda. Magga is a supra-mundane Cheda. So 8 Chedasika in the Fourth Noble Truth, the same 8 Chedasika, the same name in the First Noble Truth are mentioned, but they are different. 8 Chedasika in the First Noble Truth, mundane, associated with the mundane Cheda. The 8 Chedasika in the Fourth Noble Truth associated with the supra-mundane Cheda. For that reason, even though the name are the same, different. because they associate with a different Chaita.
Yes.
You got it? Yeah, it's very important to understand this concept. Otherwise, it's very complicated. Even here, you know, Magga Chaita associate with 36, actually 36. Among 36, 8 Chaitasika, like a wisdom, faculty of wisdom, vitaka, you know, right action, right speech, right livelihood, right affect, energy, vidya, sati, and ekagata, one-pointedness. So we have to exclude among 36 associated with the Magga Chaita. Among 36, we have to exclude 8 because 8 Chaitasika are Magga saccā. The rest 28. Then we have Phala Chaita, and that Phala Chaita associated with 36 Chaitasika. Sorry, here I'm a lot of spelling errors. Chaitasika. 36 Chaitasikas, which associate with the Phala Chaita. So these are 28 and 37. These are not taking the first noble truth, second noble truth, third noble truth, fourth noble truth. They are not taken. For that reason, they are out of four noble truths. According to Abhidhamma, we can say Abhidhamma. They are out of four noble truths. For that reason, they are called saccā vimoda. Free from, they are out of four noble truths. Question? The last question? Then if no question, let's close. Next week we will learn next chapter. No? Next chapter. Actually, next chapter talk about dependent originations and patthana and panyati concept. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu saccā muni bhagavata kecho paragato bala vidya samangi dan sukatam paranatamu bemi ragavi ragamani tamasokan amama sangatama patikulang madurami mampagunam suvipatan dhammami mansaranatamu bemi yatha chati namaha palamahu chatusu susisu purisayugesu attacha pokala dhammata sate sangami mansaranatamu bemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you.